Hey guys, so today is all about circles. We're going to start from the basics and go through the equation of a circle, as well as how to find the x and y coordinates of the centre of the circle and the radius. So let's just get straight into it then. Okay, so here we have the standard form equation of a circle, which would just be x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Now, h and k are the x and y coordinates of the centre of the circle, whereas r is the radius. And you have to remember that the radius is always positive. So for example, if we have x minus 4 squared plus y minus 8 squared equals 64, and we need to find the x and y coordinates of the centre of the circle. Our x value would be plus 4, as the sign changes when we solve for x. Our y value would then be plus 8, and finally our radius would be the square root of 64, which is 8. Here we see the standard form on an actual circle. We can see the h and k are the x and y coordinates of what is meant to be the centre of the circle, and we can see that this would be the radius. Now let's do an example. So if we have an equation of a circle and we need to find the centre coordinates and the radius of the circle, we will simply use completing the square to solve it. Now I've done a video on completing the square, which I'll link below, but it's really simple to do. But the first thing that we would do is group the x terms and the y terms together. So in this case we would get x squared minus 6x and y squared plus 4y. And similarly to completing the square, we would move the loose term on the other side. So the 9 would go and turn into minus 9. Then we would just do what we usually do when we complete the square, but this time we would do it for the x terms and the y term. So if you remember, we would halve the x and the y terms and then square it. Okay, so what we would get is 6 halved is 3, 3 squared is 9, and then 4 halved is 2, 2 squared is 4. So to minus 9 on the other side, we would add 9 and we would add 4, and that would just equal to 4. Now that we've moved the 4 to the other side, we square the x terms and the y terms, and then we get our final form. Now looking at this, our x value would be minus 3, our y value would be minus 2, and our radius would just simply be the square root of 4, which is 2. This was just a quick example for you to get to know the basics of solving an equation. We'll look at much more harder examples and go into that stuff later. Thanks for watching. Bye.